You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host Steve Megatron Phillips, and in this episode I'll be talking tech. That's right, all kinds of tech. First off, I'm going to jump into some Windows news. Some of this might be a little bit old hat to some people, aside from the fact that Microsoft is killing off Internet Explorer finally by removing it from future updates of Windows on certain devices. But they also, in version 1803 Spring Creators Update, one thing that's coming is the important updates for Windows Update. It says it allows you to pick a time, remind me later, or restart now instead of just totally taking over and just doing whatever it wants. I'm loving that aspect. They also have some new timeline task view switcher. So you can kind of switch between things you were doing in case they get closed out. The Windows settings got a little bit of a revamp. They've got a new sound modifier thing in the control panel. You can turn on and off startup stuff. They've kind of redone some of what the task manager did and kind of ported it to this new layout. Like a telemetry data to see where your stuff's going. Windows Defender application guards. They've gotten how much of your upload download settings. You can modify some of that for updates. And then there's also some sharing of files between Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, which I really am in favor of. Cortana, I'm not a fan of, even though they keep renovating it. I don't even use it. I don't see the use in it on a PC anyway. I tried it on my phone and it just bogged it down and killed my battery, so I took it off. And then there's Focus Assist, which kind of disables. So when you're playing a game, you can turn things off. When you're duplicating your display, you can turn certain things off. You can there's password recovery for local accounts. You can disable sound on Microsoft Edge. There's a lot of different benefits. You can turn your graphic settings to power saving, high performance. You can kind of mess with the fonts and download new fonts from a Windows store. So there's all kinds of different things in there. And then I saw something else that kind of came through my view the other day. It was from In the Know. They posted a video, but there's this Mojo Epic has produced a 32 plus languages instant translator, which is on sale from $249 to $99 now. And it's super small. It's the size of a flash drive. And it's got a 4-day standby battery, rechargeable 800 mAh. Works for about 5 to 7 hours, 2 hour to a full charge. But it's very small. It's for face-to-face communication, so you can Bluetooth it to your phone to use it as a speaker. And then also it's like I said, it's got real-time translation, communication barrier-free, 1.5 seconds to translate. So it's like I said, super small. It's also got a speaker on the back though too. Looks like it uses USB, the mini plug that you would use on cell phones, from a couple of years ago. But it translates languages from Chinese, English, Hindi, Russian, Spanish, Thai, Korean, Japanese, German, French, Italian, or Arabic, Portuguese, Danish, Czech, Iceland, Croatian, Indonesian, Lithuanian, Polish, Romanian, Slavic, Slovenia, Finnish, Swedish, Vietnamese, Turkish, Greek. You get the picture. The list goes on. But it translates 32 languages. And I'm loving this. This is Star Trek level tech, and we're getting it today. So you can also connect the translator and mobile phone, like I said, through Bluetooth. You can have, through the App Store, you can download an app that does things. But it uses this device, it looks like. But can you imagine going to another country? I mean, yes, you probably should actually learn a language from another country, but I think that it's actually really cool that they have this. But either way, it's awesome. So moving on to another thing that I saw. Google Play Music will be killed off. Yes, so if you're a podcaster, what does that mean for you? Well, it's going to be replaced by YouTube Remix this year. And it's like a totally different, but yet the same. I guess they've been planning this since last July. About Google's plan to merge YouTube and Google Play Music to create a new streaming service, and they've decided that it will be replaced by the upcoming YouTube Remix platform, which is slated to launch later this year, and existing Play Music users will be migrated to the new service by the end of 2018. So a statement from YouTube basically says, we've previously announced the combination of the YouTube Music and Google Play product teams. Music is very important to Google, so it's critical we have one offering that meets the needs of consumers and artists. Nothing will change for users today, and we'll probably provide plenty of notice before any changes are made. They said that it's worth noting that YouTube Remix was expected to launch at South by Southwest back in March, but Google denied that it had such plans. They're going to combine YouTube's vast catalog of music videos and Google Play's music into an immense audio library. So we'll see how that plays out. It'll definitely make it harder for those people that want to just listen to the music on YouTube and don't want to pay any money. So we'll see how that goes. They might turn that into a subscription service like YouTube is. Like YouTube Red or whatever. We'll see what happens there, I guess. Especially with all these different services having music. I wonder how that's going to affect podcasters specifically. But I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see how it goes. I don't know. So in other YouTube-related news, YouTube Kids app hands the reins to parents rather than fixing its own mess. YouTube is giving parents greater control over its Kids app in the attempt to curtail the complaints that it's not doing enough. So parents get a better handle on what their child watches on the Kids app, which is great, except for the fact that you shouldn't have been a problem in the first place. So they're saying rumors about this change have been floating around. BuzzFeed kind of reported it. The Kids app is now up to now has the algorithm allowing in adult content, which is unfortunate. Majority of the time, what I do for my kids, and this seems to help, if I'm going to have them watch a plethora of YouTube, I don't give them the handle on it. I don't give them control. It's regular YouTube. But it's my wife's YouTube account, and we create a playlist so that when it's done with video A, it goes to video B. There is no in between. The only bad thing is you may run into the fact that there's ads that may not be appropriate. But I haven't seen that yet. Also, it helps if your browser has that ability to block it, aka Firefox. There's a plugin where you can block YouTube ads, and it'll play the video after like 6-7 seconds. It's I guess it's okay if you're trying to do this and hand over the phone or the device to your kid and let them control it, but I don't trust technology enough to let them have that kind of control, the kids and I'm not going to sit there and police it, so I'd rather just not have them watch it than have to deal with it. So, again, I think the playlist way is probably the best route to go. As a whole, I just don't see any reason, especially with how connected our kids are these days. I don't want to be giving them that kind of control. So there's something that's been bothering me, like as I've been, as you know, experimenting with other technology I haven't been quite familiar with over the years, like the streaming or just being live in general. But I saw this thing called, and I don't get it. Maybe somebody would care to enlighten me, but I just don't understand it. The appeal or the massive amount of people that are doing it as videos. But what the heck are ASMR? I know what the acronym stands for. It's like an audio sensory something response, but I just don't get the appeal of it. Where you're like listening to somebody like crinkle, paper, whisper in your ear, like, and then they jump between your ears. Like, I don't understand it. I find it disturbing. I don't know why it's a thing. I guess it's just the next thing that people are doing. I mean, it's bad enough we don't have enough memes going around anymore like we used to when the internet was like, I don't know, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where we had like a meme every other week until it just became non-existent. I guess this is like the next type of thing. I don't get it. Another thing I don't get, though, talking about things I don't get, there's this thing on iflscience.com, and they show suicide machines that let you experience death, and it's now available for the public to try. Like, this is as bad as the video tombstone things, like, in a sense. Like, well, not as bad. This is actually worse. But I don't get it. Like, they're saying death could be quick and easy and painless by pressing a button. At least that's what the creator of the world's first 3D printed suicide machine intends to do. They announced plans to debut this suicide assisting machine, Sarco, short for sarcophagus, at Amsterdam's funeral fair. You can try it out. It's in virtual reality by stepping inside a full-size depiction of the euthanasia capsule. It gives the user a glimpse into how death operates the machine. Potential users for the real deal will have to fill out an online test to gauge their mental fitness. If passed, they will then receive an access code valid for 24 hours. Once the code is entered, another confirmation. It will sit on a generator that uses liquid nitrogen that, when released, will bring down the level of oxygen in the capsule to induce hypoxia. The brain relies on oxygen to function, so when putting in environments with low levels of oxygen, the body slowly begins to shut down, resulting in confusion, increased heart rate, rapid breathing, shortness of breath, sweating, wheezing. So in the Sarco, however, they say that death will have style and elegance. Within 1 minute, the user loses consciousness. Death shortly follows. Why the heck would you do this? Like, this is just, I don't know, like, there's better things we could be doing with technology than creating death machines, like, experiencing it. Why would you want virtual reality death? Why would you want real death? Like, it just doesn't, I don't get it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, the more I'm on the internet, the more crazy crap I see. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, especially with how volatile today's world is, like we really need excuses for people to just mass off themselves. It just confuses me utterly of why we have these things. I don't get it. Now, if you actually want good virtual reality stuff, They have this article on Inverse about augmented reality, virtual wearables. They're talking about like special AR headsets. When flipped palm side up, 3 tabs appear on the hand, or things like that. Like that, I'm more in tune with. Like wearables in that sense are more interesting. With the hand tracking, with the eye movements, with holodeck type technology. We don't need this other goofy stuff that people are coming up with. Like I don't want to experience death. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of not looking forward to death. Just the ceasing to be, as it were. Yeah, and then the last bit of tech news. Now, when I say the ceasing to be, I mean like physically being here. I believe in God. I believe in heaven. I know, going there, but it's the physically stop here of what I know at this point. So it's totally different. Like the idea of death still creeps me out. But so moving on, Google Gmail will get a major redesign soon. From what I can see, it looks cleaner. I don't really know, like from a screenshot anyway. So they're going to give a fresh, clean look for Gmail on the web, easy access to G Suite apps like Calendar within Gmail, smart reply on the web just like mobile, ability to snooze emails and choose when they reappear in your inbox, offline support. I'm in favor for anything like that. It's just when you get things like what Microsoft's doing with Hotmail or Live Mail or Outlook or whatever it's calling itself this year, or decade, I'm not a fan of it changing, because like I don't know, it got more clustered and more of a mess on their service, whereas Gmail is pretty clean. I've gotten used to Gmail. I used to hate it because I've always been a Hotmail guy. I hate Yahoo's mail. But honestly, like my server email for Geekcast Radio related stuff, it's very clean, very compact. I actually really like the new email. I've been using it on Altered Geek for some time now because it's been on an alternate server for a while. And recently we just moved Geekcast Radio, like I mentioned a couple episodes ago, to 1-in-1 from Media Temple, and the email left something to be desired on the old service. I hated it with a passion. Plus, their spam service sucked. It's somewhat better on 1-in-1 with the spam, but the interface is much nicer, much easier to maneuver through. It's more modern, which is what I like about it. Additionally, with that, there's other pros and cons to moving Geekcast Radio over, which hopefully I don't have to deal with anytime soon. But Media Temple, we just kind of outgrown it. It was not really helping things much. But I do have a new website that I'm working on. I've recently completed a lot of sections. I've completed a lot of renovation. The menu interface is going to change a lot of the main page. It's going to be cleaner, faster, more mobile friendly. The menu is going to be a lot more capable of handling things that it's up to this point made entirely too complicated. When we switched to the mega menu design a few years back and switched, I think it's after version 3.0, we went to this different style, and I've not been pleased with it since. And that's why the website keeps changing frequently. But I've learned the ins and outs of this particular theme, and I really, 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 really like it and what it's doing. And I think that everyone else will enjoy the new theme as well. And and there's a lot of maneuverability, so when we start having events again, I'll be able to actually put them on the site. We will have advertising on the site. I have another method of getting rid of that as well for certain people. But there's a lot going into the planning, a lot of thought into this site. I'm not putting any unnecessary work into it. I'm cleaning out a lot of garbage from way back in 2009. Completely rebuilding sections that needed to be rebuilt years ago that I didn't want to mess with, didn't feel like messing with, or didn't know how to fix it. But with this theme, I have a lot more capability, so I'm looking forward to how it turns out. So anyways, that rounds out my tech episode of Altered Geek. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If there's anything you want to comment on, leave comments in the feedback area or on Twitter at Altered Geek or myself at SCP-21. So until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.